You know, I think the biggest thing that a lot of fans love about the Star Wars franchise so much is how George Lucas, right from the very beginning, used the overall technique of combining mythology of the real world and, of course, mixing it together with what he likes to call a soap opera or a space opera, quote-unquote. And that's really what gives Star Wars its true vibe, its true good feeling, as Dave Filoni likes to put it. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the Disney Star Wars universe is that right now, they are very desperate to really get things rolling, to get things fixed and repaired, and just really kind of turning things around for the better. And that's exactly why they have Favreau and Filoni on board, really taking control of, give or take, 90% of the upcoming material. Kathleen Kennedy, by the way, is only in control of the Acolyte and Skeleton crew, as you all most likely already know about that. John and Dave are really moving ahead with focusing on the Mandoverse, the Old Republic, and other eras of the Star Wars universe, such as a post-Episode 9 timeline. Now that brings us to the next big scenario right now of what's really going on between, of course, Favreau and Filoni, and what could very well be, and what is considered to be, the biggest retcon in Star Wars history that's going to have a huge impact on one of the most beloved characters in the franchise. So let's get right into it. Now, for those of you that don't know, Favreau and Filoni are really set out to make multiple retcons, not just to change the sequels, but to also add more meaning to the Skywalker saga in general. And they want to make sure that these changes could very well have a big impact. So on to, of course, everything here. Ever since John and Dave began taking over the creative end of Lucasfilm, they have been on a mission to enhance the Star Wars experience for the fans. Now, it's noted that currently Favreau and Filoni are developing big retcons for the Star Wars franchise that will be considered game-changing moments during the Skywalker saga. However, John and Dave are set to focus on one of the biggest retcons in the Star Wars franchise and its history, and how it relates to Anakin Skywalker. Now, it's noted that one major retcon that John and Dave are developing and planning to make official by 2024 is by making a story of Anakin's father and or creator in the Star Wars universe. What both Favreau and Filoni are currently set out to do and make canon is that it was Palpatine who created Anakin Skywalker by use of the dark side, and this was a plan right from the beginning by himself and Darth Plagueis. Now, one of the storyboards that is about to be used for Circle of the Wills, a new anthology series, is set to feature the return of Shmi Skywalker, where Palpatine uses some kind of force power that will slowly create Anakin Skywalker within her over the course of 9 months or so. Favreau and Filoni are set to make it official and canon that Palpatine was the creator of Anakin and considers himself like a father to Anakin Skywalker. So let me just stop here for a second. Now, let's just be very clear, this does not necessarily make Palpatine related to the Skywalkers per se, but what they are setting out to make canon is that Palpatine is the creator of the Skywalker bloodline after Shmi. Alright, not the Skywalker bloodline and its origins necessarily, but all of the family members that come after Shmi are really dating back to Palpatine's Sith ways. And that just goes to show you that you can see how John and Dave are trying to really create a pattern here. You can see that what they're ultimately trying to achieve is that this could very well be why the Skywalkers are cursed with these dark side urges. We have seen what has happened to Anakin, we saw what happened to Ben Solo, and we even saw the temptations that Luke actually dealt with in the books, and even in Return of the Jedi. And let's not forget that in Legends, Luke literally turns to the dark side under Palpatine for, give or take a couple of days to weeks. And what's really interesting about that is that, yes, one could argue that, well, they're only turning to the dark side because Anakin was that one figure that did turn, and it's in his blood, and so anybody, related to him is going to have that tendency. Sure, that's a debate. But that's exactly why Jon and Dave are creating this side of the story, that Palpatine is the creator of the Skywalkers after Shmi, and that could very well relate to the fact of why they have the dark side urges, in a sense. Now, on top of this, you can see how Palpatine would create this as insurance. Basically, anybody that follows after Anakin could very well turn to the darkness, and we've seen this happen with Ben Solo firsthand. Now, with that being said, alright, one of the storyboard illustrations involves Palpatine using Sith powers from afar, where Shmi Skywalker can sense that something is changing to her, and that this has to do with her pregnancy and the eventual birth of Anakin. Now, Lucasfilm has a plan to bring back Shmi, and of course has been in the talks with Pernilla August, by the way, that's the actress who plays her, on bringing her back and de-aging her for this new live-action show. Of course, for this huge moment that they are set to make canon. The Swedish actress is said to be up for the role to come back as one of the Skywalkers. So getting Shmi Skywalker back could very well be a big moment for the fans. You know, obviously a lot of fans love the lore of the Skywalkers. We have yet to have seen a lot of great examples of that in other, timelines. Now, this is a very interesting thing that I think a lot of fans need to be aware of, is that this is not the first time we got a hint of this. In fact, there was a moment in the Darth Vader comics. It was a moment where Vader enters the spiritual realm, and Vader sees an image, or a vision if you will, of Palpatine literally creating Anakin within Shmi Skywalker, alright? And that was just a vision, but you can see where Jon and Dave are getting their source material from. There's no doubt about it that they got it from that comic. It's clear as day, that they actually cherry-picked it from that, and are now making it officially canon. I don't know how fans are going to feel about this, to tell you the truth. I think that some fans may be let down or not all that excited about this, which is okay. But I also believe that there's a lot of fans out there that are really going to respect this idea, because it does create a sinister cause by Palpatine to really keep this bloodline in check with the dark side. And that to me is probably the biggest sinister plan that a villain could have in a franchise. And I feel like that's a very interesting way to go about doing it, is by creating a bloodline that's just going to be passed down from family member to family member with these dark side urges. So far, the one Skywalker, quote-unquote, that has not really had dark side urges in the movies is Leia Organa Solo, right? Who is a Skywalker by blood, just not by name per se. So, looking forward to everything related to these retcons that are about to be made canon in 2024, related to Palpatine becoming the creator of Anakin. I don't know about you guys. I would love to hear what you all have to say about this, because I can already see that there's going to be some fans that are going to find this to be very controversial. I understand that. But at the same exact time, this really does explain a lot of things. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.